All right, today we're cracking open something really different. We're going to explore a new kind of financial architecture, one that's really built for the messy world we live in now, where the old rules just feel like they're breaking down. We're going to dive right into what's called the ecosystem war chest to see how it's designed to navigate the absolute chaos of modern finance.
So this quote, man, it just nails the battlefield we're talking about. Just imagine this. You're watching an asset you own absolutely tank, right? But not because the company did anything wrong or because its value actually changed. Nope. It's because some hedge fund halfway across the planet had to dump everything, including your asset, just to cover a loss on something totally unrelated. That is the system we have now. It's a minefield of hidden rules and cold mechanical liquidations. And that's the exact problem this new ecosystem is built to solve.
So, how in the world do you survive on a battlefield like that? Well, you need a doctrine, a really clear, simple set of rules you never, ever break. For this system, it's just two things. Proof first, sound money always. See, this isn't about chasing the next hot trend or gambling on hype. It's about building everything on a rock-solid foundation of verifiable truth and stable, reliable assets.
The whole thing is built on an architecture called a private sovereign treasury operating system. Now, the key word you need to hear is proof. This system is not designed to hold your money. It's what we call non-custodial, which just means you and only you are in control of your assets. Its real job, its core mission, is to create a permanent, provable digital paper trail for every single thing that happens that has any kind of legal weight.
And to make that crystal clear, let's just spell it out. Here's what this system is, and maybe more importantly, what it is not. It absolutely is a workflow engine. It is a compliance timeline you can actually audit, and it is a system of record for legal work. But it is not a bank, it is not a broker, and it is not a marketplace. It's not taking your deposits, it's not executing trades, and it's not setting prices. It plays a completely different role in the financial world.
Okay, so who or what actually carries out this mission? The system is really built around 5 core components that all work together. Think of them like a specialized team, or as the source material calls them, an ecosystem posse. So let's meet the crew. First up, you've got RSI, the strategist. You can pretty much think of this as the AI brain of the entire operation. It's the automated case manager that juggles all the complex legal logic and workflows, making sure every single process follows the right steps in the right order without any human error getting in the way. Next, we have Comply Chain Guard, or CCG. This is the scout. CCG is basically the system security detail. Its job is to run out ahead of everyone else, enforcing what they call Know Your Collateral standards, screening for sanctions, and flagging any potential risks long before they have a chance to get inside the ecosystem. Now, all that proof needs a place to live, a vault. And that is Secure Bank Box, the iron safe. It's like a neutral digital safe deposit box, but for legal truth. It's not holding money, remember? It's holding the evidence, the document fingerprints, the authorization proofs, all of it, locked down with some serious military-grade encryption.
Then there's Notary Chain, the sheriff. This is the authority. This is what gives everything its legal teeth. It takes the digital fingerprints, the hashes of legal documents like a UCC filing, and it anchors them onto the blockchain. This whole process, which is done by a real-world notary, is what makes an agreement legally binding and creates undeniable evidence that can hold up in court.
And finally, bringing it all together is the Justice Fund Exchange, or JFE. This is the linking hub. JFE is the glue. It's what connects the legal filings from the sheriff with the evidence packets locked in the iron safe. This is what creates a crystal clear, unbroken, and legally enforceable chain of title, which is really just the provable story of an asset's ownership, from beginning to end. So that's the posse. That's the team. But what kind of tools are they working with? Let's open up the toolbox and get into their weaponry, tactics, and defenses. This is how the system actually operates and protects itself out there on that crazy financial battlefield. Okay, so the main weapon in the arsenal is something they call UCC dynamite. Now, it's not a real explosive, obviously. It's commercial law. The system cleverly repurposes specific articles from the Uniform Commercial Code and turns them into these incredibly powerful tools. Article 9 helps lock down security interests. Article 12 gives legal standing to digital assets, and Article 5 formalizes the conditions for payment. Put them together and you can just blow up all that old paper-jammed friction. And if you want to see the impact of this stuff, get this. One of their tactics uses a tool called the Gatling gun agent for assembling evidence.
By using smart technology to read and automate documents, it can put together all the compliance paperwork with insane speed. We're talking about reducing reporting time by up to 85%. That's not just a small improvement, that's a total game changer. So, how does this whole system protect itself? This is maybe the most crucial part. It uses a core principle called syntactical trust. It's brilliant. Instead of trying to punish people after they break a rule, it makes it impossible to break the rule in the first place. It literally treats compliance like computer code. You know how if you miss a comma in a line of code, the program just won't run? It gives you a syntax error. That is exactly how this works. If a transaction breaks a rule, it's a syntax error. The system just halts. It can't proceed. And on top of that, there are a few other guards on the battlefield. You've got the allowance gate, which is like a final checkpoint where a human fiduciary has to give explicit approval before anything becomes official. Then there's the nightly seal, an automated process that creates a perfect, unchangeable record of the Treasury's solvency every single day for everyone to see. And finally, they use a special token standard that basically wraps the rules and permissions right into the digital asset itself, making it almost impossible to misuse. Okay, so why build all of this? This really gets us to the core objective, what they call the multipolar mission. This whole elaborate setup, the posse, the weapons, the defenses, it all serves a much bigger purpose. It's designed for the world we're moving into, a global financial landscape that doesn't just have one center of power anymore, but many. And honestly, this quote from the source material just says it all. The endgame here isn't to create another new currency or some other payment network. The goal is to be the trust infrastructure, to be the layer for execution, evidence, and authorization that allows these fundamentally different asset systems, everything from physical gold to Ethereum to all these new non-dollar systems, to actually connect and work together safely. Which kind of leaves us with this one big final thought to chew on. For all of human history, we've placed our trust in people, in institutions, in legal systems. But what happens when we start placing that trust in code? If a contract can be programmed to enforce itself, automatically, unstoppably, what does that do to the very nature of trust itself? It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.